How great would it be to know some of the moves that defenders typically absolutely hate, to master these moves and to be able to use them effectively almost every single time? Well, in this video, that's what we're going over, because I'm going to be giving you 7 football skills that defenders really hate. These are moves that are going to off-balance them, leave them in the dust, help you beat them outright, wriggle out of a tight spot. And if you learn some of these or even all of these, you're going to be prepared for most situations. So that's coming up next. So before we get into the first one, guys, because so many people have been interested in this, I'm going to extend the Standout Footballer deal for 48 more hours at the start of this video. So if you want to get 4 training programs for less than the price of one, 4 proven systems are going to help you with your skill moves like we're going over here. It's going to help you with your passing and receiving. It's going to help you with all the fundamentals, so many different things. There are training plans, training programs, shows you how to do so much. You can check out the link in the description for more information to see if it's right for you. Again, I'm going to leave that up for 48 more hours. Now, without further ado, let's get into the very first skill move. Here we go. So we're starting in reverse order with number 7, and I want to give you one of those reactionary moves that just when you do it right, you absolutely leave defenders in the dust. You make them look silly, and it just feels so satisfying to pull this move off correctly, and it's the Roulette or Maradona. Now, the reason I love this move is because not only does it help you beat the man, but even if you somehow mess up the move, you still end up shielding the ball and you can still maintain possession. But when you get this right, it just is so satisfying, so skillful, and really can leave the defender in the dust. This has been the favorite move of players like Zinedine Zidane when he played as well, and he used to use this move so creatively, so effectively, and he just used to make opponents look silly. They would dive in for the ball and he would just take it away and they were nowhere near him. And the cool thing is too, if you do it correctly, when you actually pull the ball back on the second drag in the Maradona, you can actually have your momentum going in that direction, so you can still be at a pretty quick pace when you do this move. An amazing move to learn, a little more tricky because it does require a little more skill, a little more timing. Although it's made of 2 simple movements, 2 little drags, it's a phenomenal move to learn, and I can tell you defenders do not like it when it actually works on them. So guys, before we move on, I'm actually curious, what is your favorite skill move to use, or just one that you like to watch? Let me know down in the comments. I'm actually very curious to know what your favorite one is. So guys, number 6 is one of my favorite moves, and this one's a little more complex, but when you learn to master this move, it just works so phenomenally well, and it is the Elastico. This is done with 2 very quick touches, back to back, to the point where it almost looks like you're taking 1 touch if you do it fluidly, and it's been used by so many great players. And I maintain that if you master this move, it actually is incredibly effective. Now, you have to do it quickly, you have to really sell this move for it to work, but when it does, you will have defenders jumping in one direction as you go out the other way. It is so effective, and when you can do it quickly, when you can do it just at pace, in the right situations, it works so well. Again, this is one you really need to practice at, but I've gotten to the point with this move, for example, that I can use it effectively, 99 times out of 100, do it very quickly, and it just works. Like it's worked at every level I played at. It worked when I played against collegiate level players that went on to go pro. Doesn't matter, it's a move that works. Now, it's not one you will pull out in a game multiple times, but it's a little secret weapon you can almost have when you're maybe in the corner, you have a defender isolated, you can pull this move out. Again, you're not going to use it 3-4 times in the match like you might some of these others that we're going to go over, but it's still a great move to master and have in there because it just works so well. If this video is valuable and you're enjoying it so far, please hit that like button and we'll move on to number 5. At number 5, I'm just going to go over very quickly because I go over it all the time, and it's the step over, and trust me, defenders hate this move. It is so effective, so simple, but it works. Stepping over the ball, leaning in the direction you're faking in, and going out the other way. What's great with this move too is you can also combine it with other moves, do multiple step overs. There's so much just variety you can add to this move, but it's just another move I really recommend players learn. It's so good in many different attacking situations. Number 4, I just like to call the bait and take. You could call it the give and take. This is essentially the move, if you remember that move Messi used on Boateng that made him fall to the ground. Essentially, Messi took a touch inside and then very quickly pushed it back outside, or took a touch towards Boateng, so he rooted himself and then took it out the other way. Jamie Vardy used to use this move all the time as well, where again, you just push it either towards them, you kind of are going at a slower pace, push it towards them, or a little out to the side, and then bring it back the other way. You'll in fact see professional players try and do this move all of the time because it is really effective. you try and get the defender to plant or move their momentum in a different direction and then quickly take it out the other way. Very simple movement, but a great one to use when you have space to work with. It's a great one to use like Messi did around the box when you're trying to get into the box and then get a shot off. A phenomenal move to learn. Another one that, again, if you're an attacking player, I really recommend you do learn. Again, I just call it the bait and take. I'm sure there's different names for it, but a phenomenally effective move when you get good at it. So again, we're going over very simple ones right now, but they actually work. And number 3 is a well-executed chop near the 18-yard box. I don't care what anyone says, the chop is one of the most effective moves to use when you are in positions to cross or shoot. And again, you can see this at the professional level all of the time where a player will fake a shot, they'll fake a cross, and they'll cause the other player to slide in and just go, outside the pitch, essentially away from the ball, well away because of this fake. That's how effective it is when you are good at it. And so this is another one. Again, defenders hate this. They're trying to block your shot and then you just completely fake it and they're gone, right? It's not a move defenders like when you use on them. Again, you have to be effective with it. If they read you, they're going to take the ball off you, but it's one that you can definitely start to use in and around the 18-yard box, especially. That's so effective, so simple, which means it's not that hard to learn, but it works even at the top level. Number 2 is a personal favorite, and it's La Croqueta. Now, the reason defenders hate this move is because this is the move where they think they've got you, they kind of go in for the ball, and you can just take it away from them. And I think for a defender, there's nothing worse when they go in, they think they can get it, and then you somehow wriggle away. And this is the perfect reactionary move in my eyes. It's so simple. You're just shifting the ball from one foot to the other when someone dives in or when you think you're going to be able to take it away. But it's just such a great move because you can do it quickly. You can keep the ball close to you while you do it. I even made a video on when to use the La Croqueta, which I can even link down below. And the reason I made a video specifically on when to use this move is because there's so many different situations you can use it in, and it's just so effective. Again, it's not always the fancy stuff you need, but this is incredibly effective at beating defenders. And number 1, we're going to go over like the daddy of all simple moves here, but I have to mention it because, again, the best players use this move. Defenders don't like it because they get sold by it all the time, and it's body feints. Look, if you get really good at body feints, sometimes you don't even need other moves. When you get good at cuts, chops, feints, essentially, you're going to have so many different things you can do in different situations because it's such a versatile move. Now, of course, a body feint is essentially pretending like you're going to go in one direction. You could even call it a step over sort of like a body feint, but it's pretending to go in one direction and taking the ball out the other way. That's the simplest version of this move, but there's so many different ways to do it. And absolutely, when you get good at this, defenders hate it because if you really make it look like you're going in that direction, all it takes is for the defender to slightly go with you and you've got the beating of them, right? It only takes for you to off balance them just a little and you have the beating of them. And so I always recommend, starting with these simple moves, especially the versatile ones like La Croqueta, like the body feint, because there's so much you can do with it and it works in so many different situations and can beat defenders in many different ways. All right, guys, so those are 7 skill moves that defenders really hate. And I mean, if you master these moves and you start using them at the right times, you practice, you get good at them, again, you master them, you're going to find that they're going to be so incredibly effective in actual match situations. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning into this video, and I'll see you in the next one.